Hey everybody, it's Sloan from Dayglow, and this is a very nice chat with Benny Sings. Thanks for doing this, man. I've been a huge fan of yours for a while. I'm just kind of curious about your journey and like how you started and what were the beginnings of Benny Sings.
Yeah, so that was in 2001. I was like a teenager in the 90s. I was a skater and we made this sunshine music when everybody was making like grunge music. So we were kind of against the grain in that way, you know. So we made funk and like the same music I make today actually. But then in
Mm-hmm.
the 90s, then I had a certain like I went to into a path that was about squatting houses and doing illegal techno parties and stuff. So it got all a lot darker, and I did this study, uh, which is called sonology, and it's about like the art music from the 50s, and they make like really dark electronic noise pieces.
Mm.
Really heavy study, and so that was all really, really dark. And as a kind of a reaction to that, I began Benny Sings in 2001, just returning back to the lullabies, easing myself out of this anxious period. But I knew I was just not cut out for a normal life and normal people. I had normal jobs and I had a stomach ache the entire time because I was so nervous to
Mm-hmm.
go there and stuff. And I thought like I can't do this. There has to be a way out. And music was like the only way, like maybe that can save me, you know. So I really
Yeah,
saw it as like a job to make money, you know, to not have to go to these
sure.
offices and so but I didn't know anything about music. I was just never thought I was gonna make it actually, but there was like this I had to. So I made these weird demos with like s- tried to make songs and failed like gigantically, but still put it out there and send it. And then it got picked up. So that was the start.
So you were doing that in like 2001. You said
Yeah,
you're like making
yeah,
music and sending it out. What did that
yeah.
look like?
Yeah, so
Like,
it was like kind of pre-internet, you know, the internet was
mm,
there, but it was still really, really slow and it wasn't really a thing yet. So it was really like burning CDs, you know, on your computer and have
yeah.
a nice sticker on it and a
Wow.
booklet, you know, and getting addresses from all over the place and just sending it to, for instance, my nephew who was an actor. So I thought, well, he's an actor, so he might know musicians, you know, like that.
Yeah.
So, and it got to places and it got picked up and people called me like, we wanna do this. So that's when it really started. But so it started for me really to, I wanted to make commercial music in a way. So I wanted to
Yeah.
make music that sells so I can make a living, you know.
Hmm.
Uh, but I wasn't good at it. I wasn't like a commercial guy. I wasn't like a normal guy. So I
Hmm.
guess that was the basis for Benny Singsler. So how can you, in your weird self, make music that is so mm, yummy or something, you know,
Yeah.
that it still sells, you know? So I was going like
Sure.
deep into myself, like, so what's the best thing ever? You know, like, so I thought of like the Disney classics, like that's where I'll be under the sea, part of
Oh,
your
right,
world, you know,
right.
that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So
Oh,
that
yeah.
was really like something that was deep inside of me, and I thought like that's for everyone, you know, everybody likes that. And I was
Yeah.
thinking about like Dr. Dre, like the real Dr. Dre hits. That was also something that everybody liked. Like Britney Spears was super big then. I was super fan of Britney Spears as well. So I thought like that,
Hmm.
Britney Spears, Dr. Dre, Disney, and all of that. I
What a
tried,
combo.
yeah, I tried to get that into the music, and I
Yeah.
failed horribly, you know, because I wasn't good at it, and that became a weird thing, and that was still a thing of beauty because it was like kind of failed or something, you know.
Sure.
And because it was a thing of beauty, it sold, you know. So So that's how that got started, and it was all about like the money, let's say,
Yeah.
but
Did,
in a weird, like, kind of profound way or something,
sure, sure. I actually went I went to school for advertising, so I kind of view music in the
Yeah,
same way about thinking like,
yeah,
what is like, because it is a business, it's
yeah,
not fun to talk about something you're passionate about and being like, cold about it, but you don't have to be cold if you're cautious,
right.
just
And
being aware
it's
that, yeah,
yeah, and it's always the case that you have to love what you do when you want to be successful and you want to make money. So
sure,
there's no way that like Tiesto or someone like that makes that music, but he actually hates that music. He secretly listens to jazz or something. And no way, he
yeah,
loves that music. It's hard to
yeah,
understand, but he
mhm,
loves that music. And
sure,
that's why he's so successful. So I'm never the kind of person that thinks like there are bad people in the world who make bad music without a soul or anything. That's just not the case. Everybody just
yeah,
loves what they do, and I'm always like, I'm never afraid to say I want to get a hit song or something like that, because I think
yeah,
like I also think like it's worth something when music resonates with a big group.
sure,
Then it's good for the community. If a lot of people like it, I mean that's I also like if the baker bakes bread that everybody loves, not just bread that like three people love, because then probably I won't love it as well. So fuck that baker then. I'm going to the other baker who
sure,
bakes the good bread. So that's a bit of the story. But then again, when people want to go against the grain and want to be like super weird and stuff, that's really awesome as well. So it's not a good or
mhm,
bad, but it's just that some people would view me as like kind of a someone that's only striving for success or something, but I don't think that's the case. Or yeah, or
yeah.
maybe it is. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, I personally, I think you've done a really good job balancing the two. I know you've made music for a while, it seems, but you have a very unique sound, but you've been like very consistent with it, which I think is something I aspire to do because there's like a Benny Sings sound,
Yeah, yeah,
that I can kind of like hear in other people's music. It's like, oh yeah, that's the Benny Sings thing.
yeah, 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 yeah,
And that's really cool. I think you've done a great job establishing that because I've been listening to like a lot of your discography. Like you were saying the Disney thing, which totally makes sense.
yeah.
Because one of my favorite songs of yours is Make a Rainbow.
Right, right. Yeah,
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 just like
yeah,
that
yeah,
older like stuff.
yeah, yeah,
And but it still has this certain like thing, that you have. And
yeah.
I think that's really cool because a lot of people will just like I don't know if it's compromising, but they'll just shift to whatever
Yeah,
is
so
going on at
that's
the time.
yeah, that's also a thing. Like, what's hard is when you are really, really talented and you can choose whatever you want, and that's not the case with me. I'm just so
Yeah,
much like I have so many like handicaps and borders which I can't cross and stuff, and that's what kind of makes it easy to just stick to your thing. And I often see that in people because I work with a lot of super gifted people that are sometimes too gifted, so they can pick anything. And that's
yeah,
why they make a jazz album and then they make an electro album, and it's good, but it doesn't have any failure in it, so there's
hmm.
nothing that is unexpected or weird about it. And so I think that's even like a harder assignment to, if you're that talented, to find your thing and the thing that you love and stuff
Yeah.
and the thing that you're gonna stick to forever or something.
You kind of mentioned like what other people were listening to, but like what did you grow up loving? Like who are some artists that you really aspire to? I have a couple
Yeah, so
guesses. Yeah.
Yeah, let me know.
I hear like some like Michael McDonald a little bit in your
Yeah, of
music,
course.
some of the
Yeah,
keys,
yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Which is one of my favorite artists.
Uh-huh.
It's weird to say right now because all the music's so old.
Yeah.
But I mean that's what I've been listening to a lot lately. It's just
Uh-huh.
like Michael McDonald. I hear a little bit of like George Benson. Like some like 70s, 80s
Yeah.
like yacht rock. Um,
Yeah. I've never been like a connoisseur or something or a crate digger, so I don't know
mhm,
that much music. It's just more what was accidentally there or something, And
sure.
so for instance, like the Paul McCartney album Pipes of Peace, do you know that one?
I don't. Uh-uh.
That's such an incredibly strange and beautiful album, and that's just my childhood. And it's, for instance, like Say, the duet with Michael Jackson is on there.
Oh, okay.
Another
Yeah, yeah.
Paul McCartney is kind of like guitar based and stuff and a bit rocky, and that's not my thing. But that album is really like has got this disco or soul infusion, which makes it so weird and pleasant,
Huh.
and it's the coolest, and it's been such an insane influence on me. It's like
Interesting.
all the musicians are from the Thriller albums, from the Michael
Oh,
Jackson
cool.
albums, and so that whole 80s like kind of a thin sound, but it's still very soulful and slick, and so yeah, that's just an amazing album.
I'll
So
have to check it out.
yeah,
I
you
don't know
have
how
to.
I haven't heard it.
That was my childhood, and then I got older and I got into hip hop a lot, and in the 90s hip hop, a lot of yacht rock got sampled. So
Yeah,
you had this common hit, "The Light." There are times when you need someone, I will be by your side. That was the chorus, like the sampled chorus. JD made that beat and that chorus, and that was a sample from Bobby Caldwell.
hmm.
So that's how I got to know the yacht rock stuff. And the idea for Benny Sings was, apart from the Dr. Dre and the things, was that I wanted to make music that was actually hip hop, but without the raps. So only the super sick choruses, but
Yeah,
then a verse, like a sung verse.
yeah,
So I was actually already trying to make yacht rock without me knowing it, because I was like, I wanted to get those choruses
sure.
but I didn't know that was yacht rock. So
Yeah,
then I made that, and then like old journalists, like old guys came like, yeah, you sound like Donald Fagen and stuff. And then I kind of checked that out. And so
wow.
after I made the first album, I got into the yacht rock. And then it's so funny to come back at Stone's Throw, because that was the home of JD, and they also got into like yacht rock kind of act. So,
Hmm.
and then I got signed by Stone's Throw, and it's just also full circle. It's
That's
it's really
crazy.
awesome.
So you
Yeah,
found out like after making it.
yeah,
Wow, that's crazy.
yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah,
You can definitely hear that
yeah,
what you're saying. It's like hip hop without rapping.
yeah.
Did you? So
Yeah.
something I'm curious about is like you seem like you were really driven. Like you're just kind of doing your own thing. Did you have like a scene around you, like friends that were making music too, or were you just like making it on your own?
Yeah, I was really making it on my own. I have super amusical friends. I don't know why.
Mm,
I have now I have musical friends, because I've been in the business so long, and you make friends and stuff. But when I started out, no, there was just like, they were not good musically, and they knew
yeah,
it. And the drive is just like what I said, is just like trying to earn a living, trying to
sure.
make it as a musician, because the other options weren't good for me. So yeah, you have to. And now I have a family and kids and a super expensive house and stuff, so I still
Hmm.
have to make it. And
Yeah,
I mean, some people would say that's like an empty drive or something, but I don't think so. It's just,
sure.
yeah, I don't know. I want to make super good music, so that I can earn some money from society, because they think it's worth something, like the baker and the doctor. And then I make the songs, and then everybody does his thing and tries to do the best. And then we pay each
Sure.
other, and then we owe each other. It's as simple as that. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what did making music like look like when you first started? because now there's so much more access to gear and DAWs and whatnot. But
Yeah, yeah, it was so crazy. I was just like figuring out. So I didn't have a drum set in my small room, so I
mm,
had this computer. So I was like one of the first bedroom recording artists,
yeah,
without me knowing it. I was just trying to figure it out and like trying to find how to sample and stuff. So you
mm,
went to the library, and there you get gonna you could lend CDs, and then you just tried to pick some stuff out of the jazz, some pianos, and I had like one good snare sample which I made all my music with and stuff, so it was so, yeah, it was a really weird time with no information, the internet wasn't
right,
there, so there was no easy how to do it video, or that was all not there. It
yeah.
was just like you didn't know, you just had to kind of do stuff. It was really, really foggy or something, like really like what am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? You
Sure,
didn't know at all.
I could see
So
why.
yeah,
There's a whole scene of bedroom pop people, and
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
I'm like reaching more towards the spirit of what you're talking about. There's no going back at this point where there are so many like sample libraries and things, and like it'd be
yeah,
dumb to not use them because it's just easy. It's like easy
yeah,
to use all this gear, but
yeah,
um, I don't know. There's just so much like just noise going on in the world and how people make
yeah,
music, and
yeah,
I'm more attracted to the idea of like um, reaching back into those earlier times, which I guess you're probably like, don't go back, it's a lot easier now, but
yeah,
yeah, I don't
yeah.
know.
But I don't know. Listening to your music, I was just really surprised and happily surprised. Like you really seem to hit something that I really love, and I don't think you hear that much. So I think you're a super talented guy. Like you're one of those really gifted guys that has to choose because you could do like anything. And I think you're on a good path or something, because it sounds really, yeah, it sounds really original. Like, yeah,
Thank you. That's
yeah,
really amazing to hear from you. Yeah, that's really nice. It's kind of in a very different way. I feel like I relate to your story, because although I had the internet, um, I grew up like in a small town in Texas, and like
mm-hmm,
there wasn't any sort of scene around me. Like you're saying, you didn't really grow up with like musical people. Like I had one friend who like I had one option for someone who even played an
yeah,
instrument. Like there wasn't even
yeah,
anybody
yeah,
around me that cared, and
yeah,
so what I had was YouTube. I like
yeah,
got inspiration from all of that, but
yeah,
it's an interesting thing where like if I would have grown up in LA, or I don't know, like around some scene where there's so many different artists, I feel
yeah,
like I would have ended up being a duplicate of someone else, which is kind of
yeah,
just what happens,
yeah,
and at the end of the day, like everything is kind of like something else, but
mm-hmm,
I now look back and really appreciate like growing up in this small town because it allowed me to like just figure it out myself,
yeah,
which I guess you had to do as well.
yeah, yeah, true, true, yeah,
I'm just interested in how you like started. I'm still like wondering like because there's this whole like bedroom pop thing, and like the term indie gets thrown around, and it's a really tricky term, and I'm always kind of trying to wrap my head around it, because um, once you're in it you can't really escape like being indie, but you've been doing this for a
mm-hmm,
while, before the whole YouTube thing, so I'm curious like your opinions on that and
yeah,
what you see happening in culture, because I feel like there is this whole um, revival of the music you were already doing. Like there's like I was saying, the
yeah,
Benny Sings thing is starting to show up,
yeah,
but in your discography
yeah,
from like 2005, it's like you were still doing
yeah,
it.
yeah,
So I'm just
yeah.
curious what you think.
So it's really weird when I started out, like the first 5 years or something, it was uh, not indie at all. What my label was, it was just weird. it was just way too soft and romantic for cool indie guys, you know. Everybody thought
Mm.
like, no, it's like slick and you know, all these commercial kind of feelings around it, which just weren't good. So there was really a very small group of mostly musicians that liked that music.
I'm just really inspired by your disposition and just your way of like you just seem like you're doing your own thing, and I just think
Yeah,
that's really cool because there's a certain um, like facade of like artists where like they want it to seem like they're just doing their own thing, but you can kind
yeah,
of tell like I don't
yeah,
know,
yeah,
somebody's telling them to do that, but
yeah,
you've really just been doing your own thing. I think that's so cool.
yeah.
You know
And
that you
that's
just like got your family and yeah,
yeah, it's all got to do with this kind of small handicaps that I've got, you
yeah,
know, and but there's a certain I have to do it. So there's just a one track mind together with these herds I have to take or something, which makes it weird. But I have to
yeah,
say, like, it's only been like successful the last like 3 years.
yeah,
Before that, it there was all of the time I was thinking like, what the hell am I doing? You know, I really don't. So I think it's all about a story about persistence, you
mm,
know, just that's the only trick because so many people quit.
yeah,
And when you don't quit, you're gonna win. You know,
yeah.
it's as simple as that. You just have
Hmm.
to make your assignment very simple and know you love the assignment, and then do it forever. Do it for 20 years, and then after 20 years, people will probably notice or something. Yeah,
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 man, that's cool. That's really cool.
yeah. Because that's what happens also with people that are so gifted that they can do anything. So then it's really hard to stick to one thing for 20 years, but that's the trick. That is the trick. Just choose and stick to it.
Yeah,
And then go deep and go on hills and valleys and stuff and but just keep on going and then you'll arrive somewhere, you know?
it's weird thinking about how like different it is because for me, I had a song that just went viral. You know,
Yeah.
like it's a
Yeah.
day and age where that happens, and
Yeah.
um, there's so many moments like that in culture nowadays where like things will just really get quick.
Yeah.
But I'm always, you know, uh, just really appreciative of artists like you that are just like stuck to their thing,
Yeah.
because I want to be that way. And although I've had this like viral moment, I still want to stick to doing myself.
Yeah.
And when the world does decide to
Yeah.
go Depeche mode, you know, I still want to
Yeah.
make my thing, you know, and
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
sway
Yeah.
to
And
it.
I think that's you should do that because this business is all about like being so disappointed a lot of the times, you know, because I
It's
also
true.
had like success in the early days, like 2003, 4, 5. There were papers writing about me, and I thought like maybe now it will happen. No, it didn't happen, you know. And then you try something, and it didn't go viral back then, but then you got like a piece in the newspaper or something like that, and you thought like, yeah,
Hmm.
maybe it's gonna happen now. No,
Yeah.
so you really have to be super prepared for failure and disappointment, and then not quitting. That's just the trick. Then
Yeah.
just keep on going when nobody wants to hear you and you're really out of fashion, and you even yourself thinking like, oh, this music is just so lounge music no one wants to hear and stuff, you know, and you just keep on going, and then suddenly back into fashion again, you know. And, yeah.
Do you hit writer's block? You know, like having those moments where you're just like, because I recently, these past couple weeks, I've kind of been in this moment where I'm like, ugh,
I have it constantly. I have a constant writer's block, so I go to the studio and I just think, no, this is bad, and I make it. But I keep on making songs. I just
Mm.
keep on going, like even these awful chords, just record them,
Yeah.
and then do the drums, and it
Yeah.
sounds awful. Singing, sounds awful. Yeah, it's a shitty song. Okay, but it is a song, so you did something that day,
Sure.
and you make another song that day, so you make two songs a day or something, right? Yeah, and just keep on going, and it's also good that it's hard, that means that you're working, so just keep on going, keep on going, and then yeah, get used to the writer's block.
Yeah. Do you write and perform all the parts usually on your songs?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mostly, sometimes, of course, not. But so I wrote this song with Mac DeMarco, and he did all of that in his studio. So then not, but mostly, yeah, yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
And do
You
you?
don't?
No, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, right, right,
Yeah.
right, right.
So I've got like a bedroom studio kind of
Yeah,
deal
yeah,
where
right, right. Yeah,
I write and mix everything too,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
where the
yeah.
headache,
Awesome,
happens.
awesome.
But
And it's
um,
it's it's live drums, right?
no, yeah, I was gonna say
Oh,
earlier you were telling me you had like you were still just drumming, and then hopefully on the next record, I'm building a new studio, so I'd love to get a drum kit, but I can't drum, so I just
yeah,
do stuff with my fingers.
right, right. Yeah, yeah.
But I
Oh, it sounds really like live drums or
Well, that's
something.
good.
So that's
Yeah,
good.
that's good to
Yeah,
hear.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because I've really kind of figured out a way to make it sound real. There's I
yeah,
love like when things have a lot of integrity, and like I love looking into like how drums are recorded, and so I geek out
yeah,
about that
yeah,
kind of stuff. But then I
yeah.
think sometimes like if it sounds real, then
Oh, yeah.
why not?
No
So
rules, no rules.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, I always throw like, lots of distortion and like unnecessary reverb to make it sound like the mic was away from the drum and,
Right. Yeah.
you
Room
know,
reverbs. Yeah, I love
yeah,
that. Yeah, yeah,
just making it all sound real. But I'm glad I fooled you,
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
you've got some good drum sounds as well.
Thanks.
I
Thanks.
feel like people listen to music differently. And I know you said you're not really a connoisseur of like crate digging or something, but like for me personally, like I definitely listen to music like as a producer. Like I don't really sing along to songs in the car. Like I like
Hmm.
really attentively listen.
Yeah.
And I'm curious what that process is like for you. Like if you're very detail focused when you're listening, or
No, I don't think so. I'm more of a sing along type, but it's just more whatever comes on my way or something. It's not that I'm looking for a specific thing. For instance, there's a song from Benny, Benee, called Super Lonely. Do you know
oh
that
yeah,
one?
that's a great song.
So yeah, so it's just like that just goes straight into my soul. It's just there's no thinking anymore there. It's just
Hmm.
like just my head goes, there, and so yeah, I really I'm experiencing that without thinking.
I've always been attracted to your production style. Like the tight,
Mhm.
dry,
Yeah,
bouncy thing that you have.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I never, I never was super technical or something. It's just very simple stuff like just loud kick, loud snare, no reverb at all.
Hmm.
That's basically the trick, a loud bass. And but I was never into details.
Yeah, that just blows my mind because I would feel like, listening, maybe that's just me like listening to your music and assuming like coming from the way that I think about it.
Yeah,
But that's really
when I
cool.
hear another production and my music comes along, I just think, oh, this sounds super shitty. But yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
happy with like the song and stuff, and
Yeah.
I love that kind of failed vibe. So it's not that I don't like it, but I really think, no, this is not good.
That's funny because I've had literally that same moment with one of your songs.
Oh,
I
really?
remember I was listening to I forget which song of mine, but I was comparing mixes in the car,
Uh-huh.
and I was just going through a playlist, and the first song was "Not Enough," one of
Uh-huh.
yours,
Right,
and it
right,
was on my
right, right, right.
playlist, and I remember that moment. So that's funny to hear you say that because I was
Cool.
like, oh my god, listening to my own song.
And there's no magic there for you, right? So there's no magic in my own productions. I just know so well how everything was, built up. So
Right?
you
Yeah.
just see it in its nakedness or something, and it's just like
Yeah.
kind of ugly in
Yeah,
a
in a
way.
way that no one will be able to get there. No
Yeah,
matter how many
yeah.
times you listen to a song, there's just a
No,
feeling, we'll
yeah.
never be able to hear what our songs sound like.
No.
It's
Yeah,
an
yeah,
interesting
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Mind fuck. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Something I like about your music that you pointed out that from the beginning, one of your goals is making like sunshine, like optimistic music.
Uh,
And I'm the
light music.
same.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm the same way where I want to make like happy, optimistic music. But there's this weird thing where like when something is optimistic, it's like not taken seriously.
Yeah,
Like it's like ignorant.
yeah,
And I think that's a good point that you point out that you have to be ready for like most of being an artist is being disappointed,
yeah.
and like it's not like it's easy to do all of
No,
it, but we still have optimism, which is I guess what, optimism is. But
yeah.
yeah.
And I've always like my only goal was to be like a failed songwriter. So it was to be a songwriter, so to earn money with my songs, but not like be rich or anything, but just to earn money with my songs. But
Hmm.
then to be like this mediocre, you know, songwriter that tries and fails a lot and stuff. That was my ultimate goal. So that really helped me in constantly getting over these disappointments, constantly getting over this disappointment because that's what I wanted. I just wanted to be a struggling artist. I thought that was super
Yeah.
romantic or something. Yeah, I was never like mm, being depressed about it or something. And of course, you're
Yeah.
disappointed a lot, so that doesn't per se feel good. But I was never depressed about it. I was always like, no,
Yeah.
oh, well, then back to the drawing board and let's see what we can do about it.
Sure.
Yeah,
Well, that's some good advice.
yeah,
Yeah. I think I needed to hear that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna have a beautiful future. Knock on wood, but I think feels good.
Yeah, this has been an awesome conversation. It's been really fun getting to like pick your brain on a couple things because
Good, good,
I've been a big fan for a while. So
nice,
yeah, thanks for doing this.
nice.
Well, I end every one of these episodes with a question that I ask everybody because it's something I'm trying to figure out. Um, and that question is, what does it mean to be an artist? And like, what is the responsibility of one? Like, what does it even? Because we're just normal people, like we're just normal people. But what does that mean? To be the
Uh,
struggling artist you're talking about.
I think about that a lot because part of being artist is also feeling guilty,
Sure.
because you're not the one who's building the streets and healing people and stuff.
Yeah.
We're just doing da la 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 in a room. It's like useless. So
Hmm.
there's this guilt complex which makes you think like, but maybe art is also useful for something, or maybe I don't know. So I think about that a lot, and the only thing I think you can say about it is that um, music is a biological urge. It's just in humans. They want
Yeah.
music. They want to make music. They want to hear music, and we're just providers for that urge. So people want to hear music, and we make the music. Some people have to make the music, and
Hmm.
as long as people are willing to pay money for it or just work for to hear music, then it's worth something. Um, Maybe it's not that deep, and it's not a huge calling, and you're not better than the doctor or the one that makes the streets, but it's a thing. People like it, people want it, and we make it.
Sure.
Like someone who makes candy, and maybe it's a little
Hmm.
deeper than that because it's not unhealthy. That's
Sure.
good about it. It's good and it's not unhealthy, so that's good. But I wouldn't say it's like this huge thing that connects people. No, not that much. I mean, it does connect people a bit when a big stadium is singing one song together. Okay, I get it, but I don't
Yeah.
think it's that deep. I just think it's it's a biological urge, and that biological urge has huge consequences because of people working together uh, because of that, because like if because people want to sync, they have this syncing urge, and that's how people got to work together, because you could do like 1 2 3 lift, and then you could do something together because you could keep the beat. So it's
Hmm.
a great biological urge which made us connect and made us do big things. But music in itself is pretty useless. I mean, it's just a thing we like. It's just a
It's true.
it's just a product of that biological urge. So it's a thing we like, and we make it.
Well, it's nice to meet you. And it's nighttime, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I hope you have a good night.
Thank you. Thanks. Have a good day.
Wow. What a wise man. I really like the way he thinks. That was cool. Really refreshing getting to talk to someone who's been like doing it for a while. Um, yeah, that was awesome. That was really cool. I feel very inspired. Anyways, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I hope to see you guys around. See you in the next episode. I don't know. Bye.